Our last 4.5 decades with our wonderful relations, personally, family, or even in medical college. Uh, Thanks a lot for the organizing committee to invite me for these topics. Although I know I am clinician and this topics goes a little bit towards the non-clinical side. That's why I have taken the help of all the Googles and medical education and even my students and even some medical educationists of Nepal. So with this, I want to come to the topics first, but before I go to the topics, I just want to share with you what is the specialization course goes around the world. And in this picture, we have different colors. And what we have got, that each color corresponds to a set range of programmatic activities. And by that, what we conclude that 79 countries have fewer than 5 programmatic activities, that is the specialization course. 42 countries have only one program in the country, while the 53 countries have no reported activity. In this, they have not included the United States of America. So let us see and have some reflection of the specialization course in the USA, and it has goes back to 1940. When they have 4 or 5 specialization course, especially in cardiovascular, gastroenterology, tuberculosis, later on goes to the pulmonary disease, and it has come in 1946 to 1948. In 1970 era, they have added another specialization part, endocrinology, hematology, infectious disease, nephrology. And similarly, in 1990, they have added the critical care and geriatric medicine. In 2010, they have given more emphasis to the another side, and they are not happy with the EMD medicine, what they are saying, that residential course. And they have just come up with the hospice and palliative medicine for the hospital sector. In 2020 and onwards, they have again further subdivided with the sub-specialization into the more sub-specialization course, that is the transplant hepatology and some other parts. With this, what we get, that this American Board of Internal Medicine have decided their needs according to the needs of the people, and they have gone into the different specialization and sub-specialization. Now let us see the European pathway. There are 2 types of physicians there. One is the practicing physician and another one is the professionally active physician. Professionally physician takes care of the individual patients, while the professionally active physicians who have the MD course, and with this they have the post-graduation course with the research ability. Because in the research ability, what they have found, that the biochemical test and this physiological, pathological part is the main part, and that's why they have given the professionally active physician, which are different than the American, what they have done up till now. Now, in our own country, we have a different scenario. We have our own university, and before 1960 I have mentioned, even the Tiruvandrum University was conducted its program through some foreign university. But in 1970, rather say in 1978, we have started our medical graduation course. But just after 4 years, TUTH, Tiruvandrum University Teaching Hospital, in collaboration with the Calgary University, Canada, they have started the MDGP course. And then afterwards, everything has come up with the very nice way that in TUTH, first we have a MD internal medicine program has started. BPKIS started in 1999. Then afterwards, the NAMS started in 2002. 2017, the Patan Hospital started. But in between 2012, the NAMS and TUTH all have started the DM course. 2020, it is the time when the Nepal, that is National Board of Medical Specialties, under the Medical Education Commission, they have started the course and they have chosen few hospital, and that is called accredited hospital. And in that they have started the MD medicine course. Besides that, we have already few fellowship outside the valley that we all are aware of. So these are the few things that I have come up. Now comes to the topic proper, that what is the value of the, say, in the era of sub-specialization, what is the specialist value in internal medicine? Before coming to this part, I just want to cite one example. We are internist, we are called internal medicine. But I am aware, 30 years back, I was in USA, in Cleveland Clinic, working there for observational sake. One of the urologists has asked me one day, doctor, you are internist. Tell me, what is externist then? And at that time, I am shocked. I don't know. Although I am MD from the PGI Chandigarh, but I am not really aware of what is internal medicine, what is there any term of the external medicine or not? And that's why I have come up with some definition. I have gone through the literature, and what I have found, that what is the internal medicine, this is the real term. The origin of this term, internal medicine in English, is rooted in the German term inner medicine from the 19th century. It means the internal medicine refers to determining the underlying internal or pathological causes of symptoms or syndromes by use of laboratory investigation in addition to bedside assessment of the patient. Then how we define the specialty? And this internal medicine specialists are specialist physicians trained to manage particularly the multi-system disease and undifferentiated presentation of the patients, and manage acute and chronic illness affecting multiple organ systems in a single patient. And that's why these internists, what we are, that is often responsible for the lifelong care of their adult patients, taking care of them in an ambulatory scenario as well as in patients in the event that a doctor chooses to train and gain experience in the particular system. Instead of the covering general internal medicine, an internist with subspecialty will focus on patient with symptoms or a diagnosis that falls within the chosen subspecialty. To subspecialize in internal medicine, the doctor must complete a period of training known as a fellowship in America, DM, Nepal, India, or some other country, and EMCS program. The length of the training varies according to the subspecialty, ranging from 3 to 8 years. Just like in our internal medicine, we have 3 years MD course, but somewhere in USA there is a 8 years course. That is, after the 3 years you must have 5 years course in subspecialty like the cardiovascular surgery. Once the training is complete, the doctor can become a consultant in their chosen field, as with a general internist. An internal MD with subspecialization will often be called upon as a consultant for patients with puzzling or complex diagnostic problems that we have seen in the morning session. Then in 2022, in September, New England Journal of Medicine has given another terminology, and it is very controversial. I don't want to go to the controversy because 30 minutes time will not enough to just clarify everything. So what is in September 22, this term has come, what is sub-specialization? And this is again fragmented from already over-fragmented system of the internal medicine. And this is also called tertiary specialist. And examples are even the gastroenterology and hepatology. They want to separate transplant hepatology medicine away from the gastroenterology. Similarly, advanced heart failure, congenital heart disease, electrophysiological invasive cardiology, they all are coming out from the cardiology, and this is the burning issue at present in the USA. Now, I have been asked to say a few things regarding how to strengthen the internal medicine. Then, while this strengthening word comes to my mind, then I always feel that there are two interpretations comes to my mind. One, that in the light of growing trends of subspecialties and the tendency of patients seeking for more and more subspecialty healthcare, there is a threat to internal medicine practice and hence the need for strengthening it. This is the first thing that comes to my mind. But second thing, with the branching of the subspecialties from the core of internal medicine, better the outcome of subspecialties when the core internal medicine is strengthened. So really strengthening the internal medicine will help subspecialties. This is my viewpoint and I go with this one. For this, how to strengthen it, what I feel, there are different stakeholders in our country. And I feel there are 8 at present. And what is the field that stakeholders? First is Simon, Society of Internal Medicine of Nepal. Then universities, Institute of Health Sciences, NAMS, National Board of Medical Specialties of Medical Education Commission, Curricula of the Internal Medicine, Medical College accredited recently for the National Board Medical Specialties Program, preceptors, individual internal medicine residents, society and public, Nepal Medical Council. I will deal each one. Now regarding the Simon, what vision and mission and goals have Simon determined regarding the internal medicine academic program in general, and what attributes it does in futuristic medicine in particular should be the goal of the Simon. I want to clarify 25 years back, here many of us, the promoters say the first person who have started this Simon's concept only for 2 things. One, that we must update ourselves in medicine for the good academic practice and to serve the Nepalese people. And second one, that our physician fraternity should go ahead. And one of the chairman who has started to telling me, because before this Simon, all other subject specialties like gynec and other clinicians, they have already started the association. So we have started with this purpose. But at present, we have the different things that the Simon must do. So now the Simon should revisit the internal medicine program by forming an academic committee under Simon to look into the matter, that how much we can do for the internal medicine and how to strengthen it. So what attributes should be expected of the internal medicine specialist related to attitudes, skills and knowledge needs to be discussed and decided in workshop like this. And this will be done according to the international trends of internal medicine practices and local needs. It looks a little bit odd that can we do it? But what is my viewpoint? The journey of what is the saying goes on, the journey of a mile begins with the first step. In the same manner, the journey of the strengthening of internal medicine must first go with the first step of the Simon. Now the universities and institutes of health sciences, NAMS, in our country the universities, institutes of health sciences, NAMS or National Board of Medical Sciences are the authorities for the certification of the internal medicine degree. coordination and cooperation among all desires for getting a well-qualified internist possessing all attributes expected of them. A national protocol related to all internal medicine entities must be developed and implemented at all the academic institutions responsible for the residency program of internal medicine. By attempting to develop the national protocol of internal medicine, following it throughout the country by the internal medicine specialists, qualities in internal medicine healthcare will prevail in the country, fulfilling our attempts in strengthening the internal medicine. Now the curriculum. We have the curriculum of the different parts, just like university has different parts, Tiruvana University has different, Kathmandu University. What we feel that adoption of a single most appropriate competency-based curriculum for the MT medicine program is the demand of the time. And the Simon can initiate this. And for that, national workshop involving all the stakeholders of the internal medicine program need to be deliberate on the issues extensively and come up with the most suitable curriculum based on the international best practices and local needs. Now fourth, the medical colleges and teaching hospital accredited for National Board of Medical Sciences. Medical college, they all have their own type of course, but at present, the accredited newly teaching hospital for the MD program, they must have the program coordinators and they must have the scheduled program for the entire duration of the program, and that should be implemented weekly. How? By weekly interaction of the internal medicine residents with respective preceptors and monthly academic meetings of all preceptors with the head of the colleges, hospital must take place, and minutes of the meeting circulated to all concerned. And this participation of the residents in grand rounds, seminar, conferences, CPD programs and audits, teaching assignments to the undergraduates and thesis work must be monitored by the individual preceptor. Keeping institutional memory of every academic activity needs to be preserved for future purposes, and sound computer programming is necessary to maintain all the records of all residents. Annual review of the internal medicine program together with the residents' performance at the final examination become the part and parcel of well-planned academic calendar of operation of a medical college accredited teaching hospital. Because this is the newly program run by the accredited medical college hospital, so they must follow these points for the better this one. The fifth one is the preceptors. We know the preceptors designed to and medical internal medicine residents is the most important person who is responsible for the strengthening of the internal medicine program. He or she is the teacher, facilitator, guru, supervisor or mentor, what you call it. But what we call in our university, preceptors. If I can just recall ancient a sloka which reminds me of Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheswara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guru Namah. I don't want to go to the inner feeling or inner essence of this sloka, but I just want to compare that our preceptor in the form of Brahma, that is the creator of life, the preceptor creates learning outcomes envisioned in the curriculum. It is the preceptor's job. Preceptor, just like in the form of Vishnu, the purveyor of life, the preceptor coaches how to perform skills and how to behave with the patients. Maheswar, that is the evaluator of life, preceptor should also assess how much learning has taken place in the learner, whether the competencies expected of internal medicine specialist is adequately acquired or not for practicing as internal medicine specialist. So these preceptors have the great role to just give more insights of internal medicine to their residents. Apart from the learning outcomes listed in the curriculum, the preceptor's role becomes more demanding in nurturing high value of the profession. Because these days we know so many things are occurring. I don't want to elaborate many things. Residents feel that they have done 3 years work and they, without knowing anything, they should pass. The external or internal, if you fail, you always blame. So what I feel that there is a professional value, human values, professional ethics, communication skills, critical thinking, problem solving, knowledge of local customs and social cultures, empathy towards all, due care for the marginalized and economically low status, with social attention to women, geriatric age group, and chronically ill patient. They all should be seen by the residents and supervised by the preceptor in a nice way. What is our feeling? That residents only working in the tertiary hospital is not adequate. They must have 8 to 12 weeks district hospital posting, and in this way they have just knowledge of sense of community service to the internal medicine residents. Lastly, you must have the weekly preceptor residence interaction program so that how much they have learned and what should be learned, that will be discussed. Regarding the residents part, they are adult residents. So they should know what is our part. So becoming self-aware of the roles of the internal medicine specialist by the individual internal medicine residents is prime importance. In order to acquire the knowledge, skill and attitude specified for the internal medicine specialist, the learning outcome as a curriculum must be attained at the end of the course of the study. Being adult learners, the residents must plan their own daily schedules by providing time to nurture knowledge, skill and thesis work together with provision of providing patient care. To serve as a specialist in internal medicine after fulfillment of the requirements demanded by the course of study must be deeply rooted in the minds of the resident in attempt to strengthen the internal medicine. The society and public. These days we are learning many things from the society because societal expectation and the public sentiments must be highly respectful and awareness of the doctor-patient relationship kept away to be in the minds of the internal medicine residents. The society and public is literate now. They are knowledgeable and they have information about the health problems through Google or IT or relations living around the world. Social media have become a blessing in disguise. That's why social expectation may turn out to be high or demanding at times. Providing a specific information to the public or health problems related to their relatives or friends on the basis of evidence only must always be in the minds of the residents. Even though medicine is the science of probability and uncertainty, telling the public the truth will always prevent the doctor litigation. And lastly, Nepal Medical Council, and we know the objective of Nepal Medical Council is quality control of the medical education in the country, quality control of the health services of the country, establish the ethical health service care practices, and also establish the standardization of medical practice. So what we feel in the internal MD program, the role of medical council is also vital. And they are doing something. And first thing, they are taking the licensing examination after passing the MD. And this licensing examination for MD is to assure the quality of education to be capable of medical services needed for the patient. Second thing, only you pass and after that you are just in the inertia. So it should not be like that. There is a now question from the consumers, what is the standard of our doctor? What is the qualification? Is he or she is up to date or not? And for that, in the Western country, there is a terminology come maintenance of certification after this degree and is needed for updating the internist. Nepal Medical Council has already started CPD. Here I have also seen continuing professional development. You are getting the marking. I have just consulted the Nepal Medical Council and the registrar has told me at present it is optional. And once the law comes into the practice, it will be compulsory for internal medicine specialists and it will be beneficial for all clinicians dealing with the patients. Here I want to highlight for the Simon, we are fortunate for last 25 years, every month we have the continuous medical education program, every year we have annual meeting and we are updating ourselves. Not only that, we have collaboration with the UK, previously USA, and now there is a Asia partnership program. Perhaps this will boost up the education level of our country and Simon members, and we along with it are lucky to have it. Sometimes I feel our colleagues in private ask me, sir, we are in internal medicine MD program. Now our part nephrology gone, emergency already gone, endocrinology, DM. So what will neurology? Sir, everything has gone. So what we have? And for that I have given this table that we have many things at present even. And for that we just want to name few. Travel medicine, sports and exercise medicine, substance abuse medicine, environmental medicine, sexual medicine, yoga medicine, and recently tropical medicine. And on the top of it, recently the insurance medicine, regenerative medicine, and futuristic medicine all have come up. So we should not be very much pessimistic that we can't treat the cardiology or we can. And even then we have all the branches and we can do quite well. Conclude, while thinking a strengthening of internal medicine, I tend to tilt my thinking towards ensuring quality. But quality is itself a vague idea, as it leads to many interpretations. However, a qualified internist must have expertise in knowledge, skills, and attitude. The preceptors of the internal medicine program are the most important stakeholders and play a crucial role in ensuring quality of the academic program. Towards achieving such a goal, a strengthening of internal medicine becomes the responsibility of all its stakeholders. Before I close, I want to cite two great people of the world, one from the West and another from the East. The West, he is William Osler. What he has told, good physician treats the disease. The great physician treats the patient who has the disease. Similarly, our ancient guru, father of medicine, Charak, he has told, a physician who fails to enter the body of a patient with the lamp of knowledge and understanding can never treat the patient. He should first study all the factors, including environment, which influence a patient's disease and then prescribe treatment. It is more important to prevent the occurrence of the disease than to seek a cure. With this, thank you very much, sir. Namaskar.
Celebration by Professor Pathak would really appreciate, and he finished in such.
May I now request our three chairpersons to kindly give the Mrigendra Samjana Medical Trust Award to our orator, Professor Dr. U.N. Pathak. Can we have a big round of applause, please?
Teacher and clinicians. Many of here we have our students here. He was past president of Simon and has immensely contributed to bring this Simon to this height. I read this Mrigendra Samjana Medical Trust Oration Award to Dr. Ugranarayan Pathak, past president of Simon, for his never-ending dedication in promotion of internal medicine in Nepal, and his presentation titled Strengthening Internal Medicine in Era of Subspecialty in 5th National Conference of Simon of Internal Medicine of Nepal, Simon, held on 14 and 15 October 2022, Pokhara, Nepal. Thank you, Pathak sir. Thank you for accepting.
I was 3 years old when I first told my parents that I'd become a doctor. And those were the times when all you needed was an MBBS degree and the patients would refer to you as Dr. Saab. And they'd expect you to cure all their diseases. But now is the era of specialty, super specialty and subspecialty. And as daunting as this is, all we need is a world of new opportunities. And yes, this has opened a world of new opportunities where a society of internal medicine exists, where we at such an initial stage of our careers get to be a part of an event like this. Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of our scientific sessions, and we are now starting with the inauguration ceremony.
For humanity. Excellencies, distinguished guests, and delegates, a hearty evening. We've had an enlightening session in the presence of some brilliant minds at home and abroad today.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a glorious opportunity to mix and mingle with our fellow delegates from all the nooks and corners of the world over dinner and entertainment.
We warmly welcome you to the inauguration ceremony of the 5th National Conference of the Society of Internal Medicine of Nepal 22.
May I have the honor to invite on the stage the President of Simon, Professor Dr. Arun Maske, to kindly assume his seat on the dais.
On this auspicious occasion, it's a proud privilege to have a pioneer figure and living legend of education, Mr. George Jones, as our chief guest. Sir, we welcome you on stage.
May I now invite the Vice President of Simon, Dr. Bhupendra Kumar Basnet, to take his place on the dais.
Scientific Committee Chair of Simon, Professor Dr. Shital Adhikari.
The General Secretary, Dr. Mukunda Prasad Kafle.
Local Organizing Person, Professor Dr. Abhishek Maske.
Our patron of the conference, Dr. Buddhi Bahadur Thapa, and Dr. Basanta Tamrakar. And I would like to invite Dr. Mark Wilkinson from the United Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, now I request everyone to rise on their seats for the national anthem.
Akhanda Yoga Roham Brahmatri Bhumi Nepal
Thank you. George John to light the lamp and formally inaugurate the program. Thank you, sir.
It's my pleasure to welcome you all today in 5th National Conference of Simon in Pokhara. I welcome our chief guest, eminent speakers, and all dignitaries and delegates from all over the country and abroad to share their knowledge and vast experience. Through the scope of this conference, we would like to engage all of you in an open and constructive dialogue. This conference provides a very unique opportunity for all of us because of its scope. It has attracted delegates from all over the country and overseas, people with extensive knowledge on issues and updates in internal medicine and evidence-based learning. Reacquaint with old friends, make new friends, and as a whole, broaden their knowledge and awareness. The theme of this 3 days conference, which is being held in Pokhara, Nepal, is strengthening internal medicine in the era of subspecialty. It has been noticed that the recent decline in production of the primary care physician has been associated with the decrease in production of general internist and an increase in number of medical subspecialties. A significant majority of internal medicine residents anticipate entering a medical subspecialty even before the completion of their residency. This transition in the development of medical manpower is perceived by some as inappropriate. There is now evidence-based studies that has shown that the creation of virtually independent subspecialty department may actually have been detrimental to the education of physicians and not productive of the physician scientists they are assumed to create. During our 3-day journey in Pokhara, our learned and knowledgeable speaker will impart knowledge on various important topics of internal medicine and highlight the vital role of internists managing the patient before they are referred to or reach the specialist. The organizing committee, in collaboration with the scientific committee, has worked hard to ensure that we have built up a stimulating scientific program. The program offers over 50 presentations, including keynote speaker, poster presentation, workshop, and orations. I'm sure this program will trigger lively discussion and will guide doctors for innovative developments. In addition to the conference, we all invite you to enjoy this stay at beautiful city of Pokhara, which is the best tourist destination in Nepal in terms of nature, culture, and adventure. At last, I would like to thank all the members of organizing committee, chairperson of all the committees, sponsors, member of ceremonies, volunteers, and others who were involved directly or indirectly to make this conference a grand success. Above all, I want to thank all the delegates who are here with us despite of their busy schedule, without whom this conference would have been impossible. I wish you all wonderful and memorable stay in Pokhara. Thank you.
I would now like to invite the Scientific Committee Chair of Simon, Professor Dr. Sheetal Adhikari, to address the gathering.
President of Simon, Chief Guest Sir George John, and dignitaries and dais of Scientific Committee, I am delighted and privileged to welcome you in this 5th National Conference of Simon in Pokhara. Leaving aside with scars and uncertainties of COVID-19 pandemic and emerging dengue epidemic, we all are here for an academic feast. This conference is scientific congregation of all specialties of internal medicine, hence grouped into different sessions in 2 halls, A and B, along with keynote speech, oration, and another plenary session is scheduled for tomorrow. And there are 20 free papers divided into 2 groups for oral presentation and poster presentation, and I'm very delighted to announce that there are 2 prizes, one each for best oral presentation and poster presentation, and with the kind courtesy of Dr. Buddhivadar Thapa and Dr. Basanta Tamrakar. And I ask for a round of applause for the program. This will encourage the young research work to be further strengthened. And it's another thing in this session what we have started is a South Asian collaboration session, and it was well initiated by the President and General Secretary of the Simon executives. And we started this one, and it is a new platform where we can share not only the cultural values, but also the management skills and other experiences. And we had pre-conference workshop on 13th, that is yesterday, and it was supported by, actually conceptualized by our UK colleagues, Dr. Shuri, Dr. Mark. So there have been regular participants, I mean the facilitators for this program, and we are very encouraged to see 74 participants, both doctors and nurses. And the theme was assessment of acutely unwell patient, deteriorating patient. And the concept was to form a medical team of doctors and nurses who can immediately identify the critically ill patient. And getting the feedback from them, they were really appreciating the training, the workshop. So we are really thankful for this workshop as well. So let me take this opportunity to thank all faculty, chairpersons, seniors, and the special mention is the past presidents who are also the founder members of the Simon to be in this conference to encourage us and guide us. We are really thankful to you, sir. And special thanks to the delegates who are making this conference interactive and lively, and I hope it will continue tomorrow as well. And local organizing committee, and I'll take this opportunity to thank Muri Dhanyavad, local organizing committee, scientific executive committee, and my scientific committee members and other volunteers and other supporters who are really working hard to make this a success conference. So thank you all once again for being here to enlighten this conference, and we hope it will connect us in a fresh way, and a very good evening. Namaskar.
Request Dr. Mukunda Prasad Kafli, the General Secretary of Simon, to provide his warm remarks.
Respected Chief Guest George Jones, sir, respected President of Simon, dignitaries in the dais, past presidents of Simon, professors, my fellow organizing committee members. First of all, I would like to thank Pokhara, Dr. Abhishek, Dr. Suresh, Buddhi sir, Basant sir, for accepting to hold this conference in the city of Pokhara. There is no other beautiful city as compared to Pokhara to hold this conference. We had our international delegates, they went to see sunrise this morning, and they were so much happy. But this has come through a very hard, very much long task. We have been working for the last 6 months to make this success, and it has become successful by the participation of the more than 350 delegates who are the most important part of this conference, and I am very much thankful to them for their participation, and applause for them. So we have tried to accommodate a lot of faculties who have been working in the arts of the geographical arts of our country. So there are so many talks, and we had to minimize the talk schedule from 20 minutes to 15 minutes. But still, I am so much privileged to see that all the speakers have confined to their time allotted, and they have done such a wonderful job. Simon has always hold the motto as service, education, and research, and this is the best platform to present the research. There are free papers. It's so overwhelming to see all these. So I feel so much proud this evening, and I would like to thank everyone for being here, and I would like to request you all to enjoy the conference and take a lot of knowledge and experience to your home. Thank you very much.
Dr. Mark Wilkinson from the United Kingdom to deliver his remarks.
Simon personally and on behalf of the UK delegation for inviting us to take part in this great conference. We've been coming for the last 7 years now, starting with myself and Professor Derek Bell and Sadia Lahani on a more than annual basis to help run the workshops and NIV workshops. There was a time, I think, over the last 2 years when we felt that maybe meetings like this might not happen again and we wouldn't all get together and we wouldn't have the chance to come back to Nepal. But fortunately, with such a wonderful meeting today, that privilege has been realised again. It is a great conference. It's very full, a very full agenda, covers a great broad aspect of internal medicine with great speakers so far and up-to-date knowledge, and we thank Simon for that. Can I also thank Simon for supporting the acute care workshop that we ran yesterday that, as Sital mentioned, had 74 candidates from across Nepal to come and help with managing the acute patient. And also it adds to being a beautiful place like Pokhara, where we've had great hospitality. So thank you all again for the privilege.
May I now have the honor of inviting the patron of the conference, Dr. Buddhi Bahadur Thapa, on stage.
Mr. President, Professor Arun Maske, our organizing chairperson and president of Simon, our respected chief guest, renowned education Georgian Sir, and Madam Marina John, our Vice President of Simon, Dr. Bhupendra Basne, General Secretary, Dr. Mukunda Kaple, our Scientific Chair Chief, Professor Sital Adhikari, my dear friend, Dr. Basanta, our organizing chair, Abhishek Maske, our respected past president, and our respected dean, Dr. Dibya and Dr. Ramesh Koju from IIM Kathmandu University, distinguished delegates, faculties from Nepal and abroad, especially UK, India, Bangladesh, and Maldives. Senior journalist, my dear friend, Mr. Ramesh Paudel, and media, I'm a friend from media, and a friend from different pharmaceuticals, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks for providing me this opportunity to say a few words in this August gathering of Simon, a 5th National Conference. At the same time, on behalf of our organizing committee, as in Pokharites, I'd like to welcome all of you to the beautiful city of Pokhara, which is also known as tourist capital Nepal. Few days back, not only Pokhara, whole Nepal was facing heavy rainfall and floods and landslides. I was really afraid that we will be not able to make this conference success. But as the Simon started from yesterday, the climate has changed and the lofty snow-clad mountains opened up to welcome, to give you a smiling and warm welcome. At this moment, I feel very much proud to be here in this August gathering with Simon, and we are very much thankful as a local organizer, very much thankful to the Central Committee, the Executive Committee, to allow this conference to be held in Pokhara for the 3rd time. First 2 conferences were the international conference, and this is the 5th national conference and 3rd conference to be held in Pokhara. At this moment, I love to remember those days that when Simon was established in 1994, and the first conference Simon was held in Kathmandu Hotel. Myself and Dr. Sudhir were participants at the first residence, and our senior founder member, Dr. Agarwal, Dr. Pathak, Sanjeev Dhungil sir, all over there as a founder member, and we are really happy to see them here. And many other seniors, they are passed away also. I love to remember them in this moment. And we are happy that Simon has gone to this, to start with there were only 17 members, and now the Simon has gone up to 600 members, And we are very much happy that Simon has become one of the strongest professional associations in Nepal. And very soon we are going to, Simon is going to start a provincial chapter also. As we all know, Simon is dedicated to service, education, and research, and to just keeping in pace with this our motto. The present theme of this conference is strengthening the internal medicine in the era of study, really timely, and it really touches our emotion and the taste of the physician. Now, last but not the least, the executive committee has left no stone unturned to make this conference successful and make it stay very peaceful and memorable. So at the last, I'd like to wish this conference very successful and hope in the future also we'll be able to conduct this conference, this sort of conference in Pokhara. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. I'd like to request Dr. Suresh Bahadur Thapa to introduce our chief guest to the audience.
I would like to thank Simon and the organizing committee for providing me this great opportunity to introduce Mr. George John, who is everybody's beloved George John sir here in Pokhara. Respected sir, we are immensely honored to welcome you as our chief guest in this beautiful academic event being held in our beautiful city. Now the brief introduction of George John sir. George John sir was born on September 7th, 1932 in Kerala, India. So now he's a 90 years young man still patronizing the academic sector in Pokhara and in Nepal. However, he has been serving Nepal since 1954, that is almost 70 years, in different capacities with different academic. He was instrumental in establishing the now famous Prithvinarayan multiple campus, which has the highest number of students among TU colleges in our country. And he has served many academic institutes, the PN campus being one of the major ones. He, I think, served about 23 years as the chief of the college over there. So he started his job over there in 1960 and served there till 1973. Then he was again the campus chief of Mahendra campus, Baglum, for 2 years, and again came back to PN campus and served there from 1975 to 1985. He has also served many other academic institutes like the Gandaki College of Engineering and Sciences, Amar Singh High School, Dipendra Police School, and Janapriya campus, and many other academic institutes, and he is still guiding the academic sector of this region. And he has been bestowed with many awards, the major of them being Gorkha Dakshin Bau Chaturtha by late King Birendra, Navaratna of Kaski, and recently the Super Bowl Janaseva Shri on the 6th Republic Day by the President of Nepal. Dear sir, we are again extremely honored and humbled with your gracious presence in this conference. We, the physicians of Nepal, and all the members of Simon would like to wish you and Eliamma ma'am, along with your children, a very happy and healthy life ahead. Thank you.
May I please request the chief guest, George John sir, to kindly address the crowd.
In this conference, it is indeed a great privilege bestowed upon me by Simon to be able to stand before you. I certainly feel humbled because you are a group who have dedicated their lives for the people all over the world, for their lives. There is nothing that I can give to you by words of advice. I'll just tell a few incidents in my life. I remember it was in 1953. I was in Kathmandu. During monsoon, every year there would be an outbreak of dysentery and cholera. So I was not also accepted from that. So I went to a doctor who was running a clinic. He was actually with the military hospital. So I went to him in the morning. He had his clinic on the ground floor of his house. So I told him my symptoms, and he gave me a prescription of the then common tablets. I gave him the consultation fee, 3 rupees. Of course, 3 rupees, it was quite a good amount at that time because a cup of tea at that time cost only 10 pice. So, before leaving, he gave me an advice. Always drink boiled water. So, I have been continuing that even now, except when I trek in the hills. Another thing that comes to my mind is cholera. There was the cholera hospital, and during the monsoon, it was very common to see hundreds of people dying. The then Kathmandu municipality decided to do something about it. So they probably did a little research, and they found that flies were the carriers of the germ. So they allocated a tidy sum of 150 rupees, and they said the municipality would buy flies, 1.5 rupees per mana. Of course, 1.5 rupees again is not a small amount, was not a small amount because in those days, Marshi Chamal rice was 40 pice per mana. So I remember walking from Asan to Indrachok. In front of the shops, they used to have paper covered with sugar syrup to catch flies. And in about 10 days, the budget was all gone. They could not spend more, so they stopped buying the flies. Another thing I remember was I was suffering from fever once, and the doctor at Shantabhavan, he was very kind and he came to see me, and he gave me capsules. I had never seen capsules before. I had seen the tablets and sometimes bottles full of medicine, liquid, but I had never seen a capsule. So I did not know how to use it. I took half a cup of water, opened the capsule, poured the contents into it, mixed it and drank it. But anyway, my fever was gone. Another incident I remember is in 1955, I was living alone, and one day my stomach was upset. And after a few trips to the toilet, I found I could not move around. So I was sleeping. Fortunately, one of my friends came and he saw me. So he took me on his bicycle to Cholera Hospital, Teku. At that time, Cholera Hospital was given to United Mission before Shantabhavan Hospital was opened. So they initially began a women and children's hospital. So a lady doctor was there. She kindly examined me and she said it was a case of acute appendicitis. And there was nothing that I could do because an operation of that type was not performed in Kathmandu. I had to fly to Patna and find out some way of the operation. Then the lady doctor kindly said, if I agreed, she'll do the operation. So I agreed because I did not have any other way. So they separated a small room, curtained off a small room on the veranda of the school or the hospital. And at night, with torchlight and lantern, I was operated. I still remember she had put a little chloroform on cotton and put on my nose, and she said, Mr. John, keep on breathing. Keep on breathing. I still remember sometimes in my ears, keep on breathing. I am still breathing because I have not only I wanted to obey her, but for my life too, I have to do it. Just one more incident I'll say, and I will stop. I remember I had a little trouble some years ago. Once in a while, I would lose my conscience and I'll fall down. I did not know what happened, so I saw some doctors and they said probably it has something to do with your heart. So they could not say definitely anything. So by chance I happened to be in Chennai and I went to a reputed hospital there and the doctor examined me and then he asked me all type of questions and asked me to work out on the treadmill for 10 minutes. And then finally he gave me a prescription of a tablet that is supposed to rejuvenate old age. It continued for some time, and then I came back to Pokhara, and I was losing weight. Of my 60 kgs, I lost 10, and my wife was really upset. She did not want to become a widow so soon, so she decided to take me to Kathmandu. So with a friend was intermediate, she arranged to a doctor to see me, and so I went. He examined me, and then he suggested some tests, including blood and bone marrow. So my dear ones thought bone marrow tests, it is certainly going to be something very serious. So then I went to the hospital for the bone marrow test. Fortunately, the doctor was away. So I couldn't see him, and he would be coming back only after 3 or 4 days. Then I went for the lab test, and it was in Delhi Bazaar, and a senior technician, he looked at the result and he said, your problem is you have a dearth of B12. So my people were not really satisfied with it because the doctor had suspected cancer and now it is B12. So my wife decided she would take me to Singapore where my son was, And I went there. They again examined and they said, yes, it is the dearth of B12. I was given an injection. I was in the hospital for one night. Earlier I could not bear the smell of food, but that night, the dinner and the next breakfast, I cherished. And then the doctor said, you can go home and rest there and take the injections there. I am still having the injection once a month. I just said these few things just to say how things were in olden days. Many of you are young. You may not have seen those days, but some of you may have. I thank you for inviting me to this conference. There is nothing I can contribute, but it is a great pleasure, and I sincerely wish that you will grow from success to success. Simon would grow up and be of service, especially to this country, which needs people like you very badly. And every one of you, I sincerely wish you well. May you grow from success to success. May you be happy, both at home, during the workplace, among your team. Again, thank you for calling me. All wish you all well.
Chief Guest, George Joan, dignitaries in the dais, past presidents of Simon, teachers, seniors, and colleagues. Welcome to 5th National Conference of Simon in Pokhara. On behalf of Simon, I welcome you on this 5th National Conference of Simon in beautiful city of Pokhara. We had a 3-day session. On 13 October, we had workshop on assessment of acutely unwell and deteriorating medical patients in collaboration with Royal College of Physicians with Edinburgh, and there was 74 participants. The theme of conference is strengthening internal medicine in era of super specialty. Internal medicine is foundation on which all the medical super specialties are built. Internal medicine specialist is the first point of contact whose scientific approach, critical analysis, diagnosis, they treat the patients and refer them to concerned subspecialties as and when required for highly specialized care and management. The conference includes Simon and RCP collaboration, South Asian collaboration, along with the state-of-art papers, recent advances, neurotechnology, free papers, etc. in the field of medicine and allied super specialties by distinguished guests and distinguished speakers from home and abroad. We have distinguished faculties from Royal College of Physicians, Edinburgh, India, Maldives, and Bangladesh. On behalf of Simon, I express my gratitude to all of them for accepting and attending conference. We are in process of strengthening academic activities in South Asian countries thanks to Professor Jyotirmoy Pal for his contribution and dedications. We are greatly honored to have Professor UN Pathak, past president Simon, for kindly accepting MSMT oration. Thank you, sir. We have over 50 presentations, 10 free papers, 11 poster presentations. I express my thanks and gratitude to all committees, scientific committees, registration committees, transportation committees, accommodation committees, publications, reception and hospital committee, along with the chair and members. Thank you, Professor Sital Adhikari, scientific chair and his team, local organizing chair, Professor Abhishek Maske and his team, our advisors, Professor Buddhivada Thapa, Basanta Tamakar and all his teams, and special thanks to Chief Guest George Joan, an excellent academician for his contribution in the field of education in Nepal. Pokhara is most popular destination, 200 kilometers from capital Kathmandu, to see lakes, Himalayan ranges, boating, trekking, rafting, and extreme sports like paragliding, bungee jumping, etc. We welcome all delegates faculties from home and abroad, and look forward to your pleasant stay in Pokhara. This conference with academic participation from all have been a great success. We hope to have your active participation and interaction tomorrow on 15 October. Thank you all for your active participation. Thank you. Thank you. We conclude the program. After this, we have annual general body meeting. All Simon Life members, please stay here. We have an important agenda of Simon chapter in different 7 provinces. Thank you.